Are we all accounted for?
Yes. All the audacities work. We're here.
Okay, just want to make sure, y'all, we are having the
All
most
types of
technical
troubles.
difficulties. Jesus.
Words.
Whatever, skipping that. Welcome back. You guys, I am so tired. Thank you for joining us on this episode where we'll be continuing our coverage of the Wrath and the Dawn. Really quickly before we get started, please do not forget to follow us all on social media. Steph, aka Bad, and Bookie on Instagram, and at YA at Heart Podcast on IG and TikTok, and at YA at Heart Pod on Twitter.
Yay.
And give us all the reviews, all of them.
Yes.
We are once again asking for your support.
Yes.
You guys, this got kind of spicy.
It got something.
It got tense.
It got tense, and I was so here for it.
The tea was hot, and I'm not talking about the one that Despina was serving, bro.
So good.
I am not gonna lie. I was expecting Tyreek to die by the end of these
Me
few
too.
chapters that we read.
I was like, no, he didn't. No.
Like, probably Game of Thrones style, like in the
Yes.
banquet hall.
Yes. Especially that one scene. I thought that she was going to find like a spear in his head or something. I was like, no, don't touch her. Don't touch her.
Bro, that boy, I told you that boy is reckless.
He
He's
really is.
reckless.
He really is, yo.
He don't think. So let's get right into it, starting with chapter 20, which is titled Lilacs and a Raging Sandstorm. So this is from Jalal and Khalid's perspective.
Oh, I love their perspective. I love their banter.
I do. I love it. I love seeing their interaction behind closed doors. Because it's just like, Jalal's still like, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
It's everything that I would love and more. Like you said, Jalal's like, I really don't give two shits if you're the Khalif. I'm gonna talk to you how I feel. And he is like that annoyed brother. That's the vibe.
Yeah. That's the whole vibe for him. So he's like, he's trying to get Khalid to talk about what's bothering him and to talk about Shazi. And Khalid is just like shutting him down. He also wants to know what Khalid did in order for it to rain the previous day. So I'm like, okay, so he doesn't even know.
Mm-mm.
So then in that case, maybe he didn't take another bride to kill. Do you think that he did some type of self-sacrifice?
He had to have. I mean,
Yeah.
It still sounds like he still looks like shit.
Yeah.
Which is, we kind of talked about that, I think, in the last episode, right? Like how we were
Yeah.
like, okay, well, maybe what it is instead of him taking another bride, it's the curse taking his life force like little by little. And this is why he looks like shit. It looks like he's not sleeping enough. And like
sacrificing
Jalal
somehow.
and his father, right? And like Jalal and his father don't know exactly. Maybe Jalal and his father aren't privy to everything in regards to the curse.
Okay, but when Shazi asked Jalal last episode, why does he kill all his lot, or why does Khalid kill all of his wives? Like Jalal was like, done. Like, nope, game over. Like, I feel like Jalal knows. Jalal and his daddy have to know.
No, so I'm not saying that they don't know about the curse. I'm just saying that maybe they only know one part of the curse. Maybe there's like this sub part of it where it's like, okay, if you don't take any of these lives, then I'm taking your specific life. And maybe they don't know about that.
And maybe even Khalid didn't know either. Maybe he found out through not killing
Shazi.
his bride and just, it happened to rain. He was probably like, oh shit. And then maybe he realized his, depleting health as well. And maybe he was like, oh, okay, now I know what's going on here. Maybe he's figuring it out. He just hasn't shared that information.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. That would be really interesting if he like found out the hard way.
Yeah.
Like he just woke up and a couple of teeth were missing. He's like, what the fuck?
What the hell?
There's also a specific moment in this chapter where Khalid looks out the window and he sees these lilac flowers. And I think he has I think the way that it's mentioned is he has a vision. At first I thought maybe he saw his mother, but I think he was seeing Shazi.
Yeah. So I think what it is I think it's mentioned earlier on or something that like Shazi's scent or something like that is that of lilac. And
her hair.
So yeah, her hair, there you go. And so like basically to him immediately makes him think of Shazi. And like, I don't know, to me it sounded as if he was trying not to feel anything, which is why he had that specific reaction. But that shit is failing. It's failing fast. It's failing fast.
And Jalal called him out on it. He was like, "Oh, is something bothering you? Even the scent of flowers and sunshine now?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? You want to talk about Shazi?" He's like, "I said no."
It's so cute.
We also find out that Salim, who is his uncle, his I guess uncle by marriage,
Yeah.
is supposed to be making a grand visit to the estate. And Jalal suggests that he should keep Shazi here and that they should invite all of the emirs and to come to the I don't know, castle, mansion, castle,
Palace? Oh, it's
palace.
like a
There we go, palace,
Yeah.
palace, yeah. To come to the palace and basically show them that they're a united front.
And he's found a Khalifa. He's found one.
Exactly.
I found it interesting how even Jalal knew Shazi better than he did. Or maybe he did know her just as well, but he chose to ignore it because he was like going to send her away during that time. And, it seemed like the way he was talking, like he was trying to protect her, but Jalal's like, that's the last thing she wants, and if anything, it'll make you look better because she's so prideful and strong-willed and
And silver tongue.
it would make it's actually a good thing, not something to hide her for it, but something to actually flaunt her for it. I don't know. I appreciated how he paid enough attention to her to let him know, like, no, don't do that, do this instead. And that Khaled he even listened.
Yeah, he took his counsel. I was like, wow.
Even though they were literally arguing at that same time, he still listened.
Oh my God.
Jalal also so they get into the hallway and there's this whole moment where Shazi sees him and he sees her and she walks up to him to like say something and he smooth walks past her. And Jalal is like, "But bro,
Go back." He's like, "Go back. Turn back around."
We just had this whole heartfelt conversation about how much you like Shazi and you just gonna dip. But the thing here that was really interesting was that he brought up a girl named Ava.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Ava?
I was like, who this?
Bro, and he was like, he literally said, what did he say to him? Page 219.
218.
Oh, where I pull it up?
He said, at the end, was Ava not enough?
Yes. And then he says something about, what does he say? I know love is fragile and loving someone like you is near impossible. I was like, woo. And then he's like, you're like a raging sandstorm. Just make sure that you protect Shazi from it. And I was like, woo.
It was
woo.
And the last line, and make sure that storm isn't you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, to be a servant in the hall, baby. And I can't hide nothing on my face. I'm like, oh. It goes to show that there are so many other layers in this book. There's so many layers to this person. And it's like, we're more than halfway through now. So are we going to find out about Ava?
I don't know, but like there's a second book.
Was that like his first love? Or was that the first person he killed and he loved her? Like,
but like, what if that's what it is though?
Like his first wife?
Maybe.
I mean, because she had to have been important for Jalal to mention her. Had to have been.
And for Khaled to punch him in the face smooth after he mentioned her.
Exactly. So she had to have some type of importance.
This man, side note, this man just goes around punching people in the fucking face.
Leave my man's alone.
But even then, Jalal was like, you hurt her. Like, walking by her like that, you hurt. Like, he clearly read her face, the emotion on her face. And again, I don't know if Kelly did or not, but Jalal's bringing it to his attention because he cares enough. And which I know we've talked about going back and forth. Does he really care for her? Is he really just trying to fulfill this curse, however it needs to be? We're still unsure about that. But it sounds like he's pretty intuitive when it comes to Shazi.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's like when you read them in chunks of chapters like that, you're like, you can't trust him. Maybe you can trust him. It's all over the place.
So then we move on to this would be, was it chapter 22?
Chapter 21, I think. Yeah.
And this one's called Mardad, the Bluebeard. Yeah. Bluebearded. And basically, after everything that happened, we're back with Shazi in her bedroom at night, and she is pissed.
To say the least.
She is pissed that this man walked by her because her full intent to walk up to him was to apologize. And so she was going to humble herself and say, because they're both prideful. And so she was going to humble herself and tell him, look, I'm sorry, I apologize. That was the reoccurring line, was like, how dare he, how dare he, how dare he. So what ends up happening is he ends up coming to her. She is, you know what? I have a story to tell you. And like, she goes into this full-blown story about this man who's looking for a wife and this girl who needed to help her family, gives her free range of his house. And he tells her, he gives her the keys and he's like, listen, I have to go for a month or something like that. But here are the keys to the house. You have free range. Just do not open this one door. Don't open this one door. And of course, what happens? She goes ahead, she opens the door and there's bodies hanging.
Bruh. And Khalid was like, Shazi.
Yes!
Like,
yes! He, obviously, this whole story was more of a metaphor for, like, their relationship and Shazi's trying to continue. They both end up hurting each other. But then they both end up apologizing. And one of the things that came out of this chapter that I thought was so sweet was he calls her Junam or something like that.
Oh, yeah, my dear.
Yeah, it like means my everything or something. It's so cute. I was like, oh, okay.
Another thing that comes up too is like when she's telling the story, she's trying to stop him from leaving.
Yeah.
She's like, your door is locked. All your secrets are locked behind that door. Give me the keys. I want to know. Like, don't keep me in the dark. And I was like, I feel in that moment, like before she was doing it strategically.
Yes.
But this time she was like, I really want to know. I really want to get to know you in every depth of you.
Yeah.
Because she's feeling more comfortable with him now and she's actually falling for him. So I thought that was really sweet.
I think this was the peak of her vulnerability because, you know, she didn't, as strong-willed as she didn't say it forcefully and she wasn't trying to be sneaky. She was being vulnerable. She was holding him. She was crying and she was like, please don't leave. Please tell me, you know, the secrets. Why do you kill these brides? And before that, even her approach, this story, she did it in that way because she probably figured out, you know what? Only time I can get him to sit still and listen is when I'm telling a story.
Yeah.
So what is the best way other than telling him a story about how I feel and what I want to know? And she did it, and that was her approach, and it worked. She got him to listen. He was listening, but then, you know, when she mentioned the bodies, he was like, I'm out of here. You know?
He's like, fuck this.
Like, bitch,
she's relentless.
Yeah.
And it even kept replaying in her mind what they said to her, like, your husband is not a forgiving man.
Yeah.
So that moves us into chapter 22, and this is titled The Die is Cast. This brings us back to Jahandar. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this man, but it's not good.
It really isn't.
Apparently, he dropped off Irsa with Raheem and Tariq's family to be babysat while he went off and did his blood magic thing to become a wizard, grand wizard, sorcerer, supreme, whatever the fuck it was. And he came back and he's talking to Raheem, and him and Raheem are having like a weird interaction while they're kind of talking. Ultimately, Jahandar is like, I want you to let me help with plans to, you know, get Shazi back. And it also felt like he was trying to bait him into calling him like a bad father.
Mm-hmm.
And Raheem was like, no, I don't know what your reasons are and stuff like that. I know it's hard. And then Jahandar, they noticed that his palms are really blistered. And Raheem's like, oh, are you okay? And of course he lies about it. He's like, oh, it's all fine. It's just a little fire or whatever. But Jahandar mentions like, it's only going to get worse. So this is like a reaction of him not, I guess, having a blood sacrifice. And he said the rabbit is no longer enough. He needs something bigger. So I was like, was he trying to bait Raheem into calling him a bad dad so we could kill him?
I think so. I personally think so. I was like, the moment I got to that line where he was like the rabbit's no longer a good sacrifice, I'm gonna need more. And you're like talking to somebody, and the way he was talking to him, I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna kill somebody. I was like, he's gonna kill a person. I was like, oh my God.
But my question is, who? Who is he going to kill? Do you think he's going to kill Irsa?
His daughter?
Sacrifice one daughter to save another?
I don't know.
Oh, God, I hope not.
I hope not.
That's lousy.
The Raheem
Yeah, it is.
one, I can kind of see, like, the way he was baiting him and things like that. Like, I can see that. But I don't know. I feel like this man is so protective of his one daughter. I can't see him killing the other one to save the oldest.
And we don't have any evidence that he favors one over the other. We don't have that.
Yeah.
For him, and remember, like, we had this thought that maybe when he did all that brujeria in the last episode, maybe something went in him, as an exchange. And maybe that's because he acknowledged he is not the most brave person. His daughter's braver than he is. He's just trying to save her because he's like, I'm her father. I have to do something. Even though he thinks she can take care of herself better than he could take care of her. So, I mean, True. We still don't know. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns here. I don't know.
He has, like, I just thought about it, bringing it back to ACOTAR, of course. He has Papa Archeon guilt.
Oh, yes. Lord.
Wow, yes.
Oh, shit.
That's right. That's right.
So he's reached his peak in the Court of Wings and Ruin, where he's like, I'd do anything.
Right.
To save them.
There we are.
Damn.
That's a good comparison.
It is.
Oh, thank you. It's just
the guilt, that's a good one. Yeah.
Guilt is a fucker, man. It'll make you do crazy things.
Give a piece of your soul for some magic, yeah.
Apparently.
Right.
I'm willing to kill anybody.
Jafar, I don't know. It sounds the same. But that moves us into chapter 23 called The Falcon and the Tiger.
Which is self-explanatory. It was self-explanatory.
This was it.
Oh my God.
When it went down.
Oh my fucking God. I know.
It's about to go down.
Body burst into flames. Bro.
Oh my God. Okay, so in this one, basically, as the title says, The Falcon and the Tiger, this is the chapter. So Shazi is watching all of these emirs come into the palace, and she's making light of the situation, even though it's not something to make light of. And Despina's like, bitch, come on, like, I'm trying to get you dressed. What are you doing?
You don't take anything seriously.
Right. But Despina definitely put her foot in it, because, like, the description that we got of Shazi at the end when Despina did everything was super nice. She's, like, decked out. One thing Despina tells her, though, is that Shazi didn't realize was that these were the emirs coming into the palace. So the moment she heard the word emir, she was like, oh, fuck, Tariq. So she's, like, looking for Tariq. Once she's finished getting ready or whatever, she makes her way to Khalid, and, like, I want to say Khalid was a little speechless.
I love their moment where he was like, you look beautiful. And she was like, so do you.
Yes. Yes. And so they walk hand in hand.
Not Tariq, God damn it. Not Tariq sitting at the table, looking at her and then looking at their interlaced hands like, huh. That's suspicious.
Wait. Because then that leads us, I think that leads us into 2 crossed swords, which is the next chapter.
Yeah, because he's ready. Tariq is on edge, and he is ready to kill him himself. Have Zoraya. He has his falcon with him, of course. Zoraya pick his eyes out. At one point, he was getting so heated. Zoraya was like, ah! He was like, calm down, not yet.
Can we talk about the writing in this chapter though? Because
yes!
I loved the way the perception of him was changed to a monster. That's first and foremost. All of a sudden, the monster comes in with his horse. The monster looks at me, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, you just felt the tension. And then by the end, he was like, monster? Hardly. Merely a boy king. I was like, oh, my God. Totally emasculated him.
Yeah, I was like, you don't know my mans.
You have no fucking idea. No idea. And he kept, like, looking at Shazi, like, giving her eyes. And she's like, would you stop that shit?
For real. Every time.
Kill you right here in front of everyone, and they will continue to eat around your corpse.
Every time Shazi looked up and he was staring at her, Shazi would move away. Like, she'd be like, something else
like,
had
look
to
at
happen.
that beautiful bird.
Facts.
Just to save his soul.
Yes. Because she knew.
Reckless as fuck.
But when she laid eyes on him, what'd she say? My first love.
She did. But as in the past tense.
That was the best thing, because I read that, I reread it, and I was like, oh shit, this bitch said my first love, not my love.
not my heart, not my soul, my first love. As in the shit came and it went.
And
Yes.
I think in this scene is when she's realizing the went part. I think in this scene she's grasping, because now she's in the same room with both of them, and I think she's like, wait a minute, where in trying to really figure out where's her heartstrings pulling towards. Is it him or him? You know what I mean? So I think the scene was really important for her to figure that out in the midst of all this drama.
Yes, because I love that description where it's like she's hearing the uncle talk about Khalid and she comes to his rescue, and then she's seeing Tyreek. She's like, please don't do this. Like, it was very emotionally like high strung.
Yes,
it was.
Oh wait, I also like how Tyreek was constantly mentioning, like, look at him flaunting her around like she's some prize to be won. But aren't you also here to save Zed prize? To get your prize, quote unquote.
Don't it feel like Tamlin?
Because he claimed her. That's why.
Yeah. He's like, I licked it, it's mine.
My man's got Tamitis.
Tamitis, shut up. Add that word to the dictionary.
That's a dictionary.
Tamitis.
Poppy-esque and Tamitis going
Tamitis
down.
Yes, both of those words will be added to the dictionary, please.
I have my book.
Ooh.
You have your book?
She got a book.
We are gonna write this down.
And then we move on to the next chapter, and this one is called The Dance on a Balcony.
Okay, wait, before we get to the next chapter.
Go ahead.
This is not important at all. However, the description of that food, oh my God. Oh my God. When I tell you, I read that chapter like today, and I told Markel, I was like, let's get some Mediterranean food for dinner. Let's get some, I want a fucking lamb shawarma plate or something. And then I found out I couldn't have tahini or the other sauce that they put on it, and I was just like,
oh, T.
That fucking sucks.
I'm sure you could find substitutes. You could probably find substitutes.
No, it's not the same. Anywho, moving on.
So we move on to A Dance on a Balcony, which is the next chapter. And this chapter, the one line that I thought was fucking hilarious was Jalal groaned and Khalid looked away. And the reason for this was because a specific person is dancing. What I pictured was a belly dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I pictured.
So
Jazzy is like, who the fuck is this bitch? And why are y'all reacting this way?
And why is she making eyes
with my husband? What's going on? So Shazi pays more attention. She realizes this woman is dancing specifically for Khalid. At the very end of the dance, the girl gets all up near Khalid and she's like, hello, Khalid. And Khalid looks at her and he's like, hello, Yasmin. So the fact that they're on a first name basis, I was already like, who the fuck is she?
Right. I would have jumped in and be like, Saidi?
No, I would have been like, sick 'em.
Khalid of Corazon?
Sick 'em.
My king? Bitch?
But then again, too, Tariq was there and,
It was, yeah.
Listen.
She was already torn as is.
Pick a side.
Facts. So it turns out that this woman, Yasmin, is the princess of Parthia. So she's the daughter of Uncle Salim.
So they're cousins.
They're cousins.
So she's in love with her cousin.
I mean, back then, that was acceptable. You could marry your first cousin.
Why?
If it strengthened the household.
To keep the blood pure is what they cared about.
Yeah, to keep the blood pure. Yeah. That's why the royals
I'll let it slide for now.
I mean, first cousin, nah. Fifth, 10th.
Fifth is different because you're like so removed.
No. We're not making excuses.
I mean, it sounds gross either way, but what I'm saying is, I know that it's more common further down the line, but I mean, they weren't shy about the details here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is we realize that she is the princess. And her and Shazi have a moment. Yasmin specifically says, I wasn't expecting you to be so beautiful.
Bitch, fuck out of here. You're trying to get me to hype you up, and that's what I'm not gonna do. So, bye, bitch.
But she does admit to loving Khalid.
Like right away.
Right in this whole interaction and stuff. But it was, this interaction, to me personally, I was like, okay, we get it. She loves him. She also is okay with the fact that he found somebody.
Technically, she's not okay with it because she was like, she deserves. So. Yeah, she was like, he deserves somebody that actually loves him.
But the way she was saying it was very backhanded. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it was
Well, yeah,
to
that's
me
why
it
I'm
was
like,
backhanded.
she was being a petty bitch.
Right. Yeah, it was very much a backhanded like situation.
I love when Shazi was like, and I quickly imagined her tresses wrapped up in my hand while I boop, boop, boop.
She got violent real quick.
Like, damn right, Shazi, take her out. Take out any threat.
But then what ends up happening is after she's done with this interaction, she ends up walking into somebody, and then it turns out it's Tyreek.
Oh, this man just won't stop. He will
really
not
won't.
stop.
But I ain't gonna lie though, I'm glad it was him and not somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. So she runs into Tyreek. He passes like a piece of paper into her hand.
Yeah, the Rajput and Khalid come in, and she has to pretend again like she doesn't know him. And she's like, okay, we're leaving. And Tyreek's whole demeanor changes when Khalid walks in, and she's like giving him like a silent warning, like, you got to do better than that, bro.
Yeah, no,
It's all
that's
over
what
your
she
face.
says. She's like, oh God, please do better than that. But like something else though was she felt so pissed and upset that he didn't mention Yasmin before. That when they're interacting with Tyreek, she's like, he doesn't deserve to know all of my secrets.
But I get it because it's like he's hiding stuff from her too. So she's like, why would I lay out everything bare for you? And you wouldn't do me the same courtesy. But
no,
at the same
I get
time,
it.
Oh my God, this shit is so messy. It's so
Yes.
messy and I gobbled it up.
I think I read this chapter quicker than I read any of the other chapters. I was like, oh shit,
Yes.
oh shit, oh
I was
shit.
like, fight.
Same.
I didn't care who got into a fight. I don't care if it was Yasmin and Shazi or if it was Tyreek and Khalid. I was like, I just want to fight.
I thought that something was going to happen because when Yasmin said, yeah, he chose you because he could have chose somebody else that would have really loved him. And then she goes, do you love him? And Shazi never gave her a straight answer. And she was like, you see, I've loved him since we were children. And I was like, this is like deeply ingrained pettiness.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, and it makes it clear she's not going to go away, you know?
No. And it also makes sense too because his uncle doesn't really like Khalid. He tolerates him.
Yes.
But a union between his daughter and Khalid would unify both of their kingdoms and put Salim at a higher status.
Correct.
So
exactly.
I think that's why he was like, all of a sudden, okay, I want to meet your queen.
Yeah. So then the chapter further progresses and Shazi reads what Tyreek basically gave her in the parchment. And he says, your balcony, when the moon is at its highest point in the night, I'll wait until dawn if I must. Do not test me. So you...
Good. Wait until dawn. And when them guards come to swoop your ass up...
That's what I mean! You are willing to risk both of us getting killed.
For your pride.
For help that I didn't even ask for.
Thank you, because you felt like I'm a damsel in distress and I needed to be rescued.
I'm sorry. Can we just rewind and say that a little bit louder for the people in the back? Like, what the fuck?
So she goes to the balcony. She meets up with him. Immediately, their perception of what this meeting should be is two different things. Because he's very much like, this is a lover's embrace and like, finally meeting after so long, and like he just wants to hold her, and Shazi's like, I need you to fucking leave. I need you to go. And he ends up asking her, what's Khalid's weaknesses? Like, you've been here for a while now. Tell me, like, what have you gotten out of this? And she shuts down.
And that's the moment I knew fate was sealed. She's in love with this man.
Facts.
She has chosen a side, and she will protect this man with everything that she has.
And if that's not enough, he literally asked her, how do you plan to kill this boy king?
Yeah.
What are your plans? And she's stuttering. I don't know.
Left or right.
And he's like, I don't know when he's gonna realize it, but I hope it's soon.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I've came here to finish what you started. And she's like,
yeah,
about things have changed just a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, but then Tyreek is like, oh, let him come. Like, I'll take care of it right now. I'll deal with this problem right here and right now. We'd be good as hell. And then
overconfident.
He's like, thank you.
And she's like, do you have a death wish?
Bruh. Yeah, like she has to get real serious with him and be like, I do not want to watch you get carved up in front of me. Please leave. And then he's like, oh.
But okay, but see, that right there is where it was like so stupid, because basically she had to make it seem like she was so concerned. Granted, she is concerned about him, but she had to make it seem like she was so concerned about his safety. And oh my God, I don't want to see you carved up. And oh my God, I don't want to see you killed. For him to be like, okay, yeah, sure, yes, let's make a plan, let's do this, blah blah blah, whatever. And then they have a moment where he kisses her, and he says, "I love you," and she kisses him, and she stutters when she says, "I love you too, Terry."
Yeah, she said she was like, her lips went limp. Limp,
No!
bro. Limp! Ah! He was open mouth slobbering all over her lips, and she's just standing there like, okay.
But she also says, like, I have to get these feelings back.
It's too late, girl. They gone.
They gone.
Bruh, that's where we end for this episode. I am so... And that was only a little bit of chapters that we read, but so much shit.
Yeah.
So much shit. I have like maybe 2 predictions by the end of this book. Tyreek will die. He will die. That is not a question. And I've been saying that over and over again, but now he gonna die. I also think at the end of this book, the dad is probably gonna die.
I see him sacrificing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably gonna, because there's no way he can continue living like that. I also think Khalid is definitely going to find out about Shazi's plan originally. And I think he is gonna order to have her killed, but then maybe have a change of heart.
Like a Bridge Kingdom effect.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly like that. Yes, yes. By the way, if you have not read Bridge Kingdom yet, get off your fucking ass.
It's really good. And I like how they broke up the 2 books, you know, from her plot and then the next one, her redemption. I mean, this could be the Bridge Kingdom effect, you know, for the 2 of them.
Yeah, Rose and Dagger could be her redemption.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I mean, I don't know. Like, I think the father has really, as a character, he's really intrigued me, wondering what his next move is going to be, because now we know he's not working by himself. There's a possibility of him having something in him that's evil, not the best intentions, that might drive this story or elements of the story in a different direction. That might change Tariq's future and Shazi's.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be on the same side.
He might try to kill Khalid, but then accidentally kills Tariq. I don't know.
Or
I just see in all ways Tariq dies. He does not survive.
Or Tariq can get in his way. You know, he did ask to speak to him, didn't he?
He did.
So Tariq might get in his way if he's not including him in plans and what, you know, so he might have to eliminate him. So I'm seeing something with the father now becoming more and more important.
There's a reoccurring theme of eliminating the threats.
Yep. I agree with that.
Oh, damn. This book is so fucking good. How did we not hear about this earlier? How did we not read this earlier?
I know. On TikTok. It was on TikTok. I just slowly but surely.
Yeah.
We got sucked into the ACOTAR series. The ACOTAR series and just was like stuck for a while.
While.
The good kind of stuck though. The good kind.
Yeah, we were. It was the good kind of stuck. Not dissident. No.
Man. So the next pages that we're going to read for The Wrath and the Dawn are going to be pages 269 to 342.
We don't have much more after that, right?
No,
I know, it's only a little bit left.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. So I can't wait. I can't wait to get further into it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that I'm going to try to read more tonight, but I'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
We figured.
Shut up.
Enjoy the rest. This will be the last time you sleep.
Yeah, agreed. With that being said, we want to say thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening. Come back next week for the next episode. And we love you guys. Always stay YA at heart. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.